Okay guys, what we're drawing today is the female Fortnite character. I'm going to show you how to draw the basics of her. If you don't want her to be a Fortnite character, you can very easily turn her into a superhero. And you don't have to keep that hairstyle. That's just the hairstyle that I chose to make. But any other details that you want to add after we get the basic structure down will be on you. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to use a marker to draw because it's easier to see, but you need to use a pencil with an eraser in case you make some mistakes. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to start with my, my pencil because I'm going to find the middle of my paper. I'm going to put one finger up here, one finger down here, okay? I'm going to move my fingers together at about the same rate, and my line is going to be about right there. Okay, that's where her waist is going to be. So that's just going to tell me that everything above that line is going to be her head and torso. Everything below it is going to be her legs. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with her face. Okay, I'm going to measure down about 2 fingers from the top of my page, and I'm going to put a dot about there and then maybe one about right there. That's about as wide as I'd like my face to be. So then I'm going to come down and make a U shape with my dots. There's one side and there's the other. That's going to make my face right there. We'll come back and add those details later. Now, on the bottom of my U, I'm going to draw 2 lines down. That's her neck. I'm going to curve it off, and that's going to be the bottom of her neck. So from these 2 points, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 2 little diagonals down to create my shoulders. Okay, now whatever you do on the left side, you're also going to do on the right. Okay, because our person is going to be symmetrical. So what I'm going to do is down here on this line that I drew for my waist, I'm actually going to draw a line a little bit wider than my neck. Okay, this is going to be our waistline. This is where we're going to draw our torso down to. Okay, next we need to draw her chest. So we're going to start on one side of our shoulder line right here, and we're going to just simply draw a line and a curve, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. A line and a curve. Now we're not going to let them touch, we're going to leave them open. Okay? On the bottom of your curve, you're just going to continue a line down to touch the edge of the line that you just created. And there is her torso. Okay? Now let's go ahead and do her legs. Her legs are going to be a little bit about as wide as her shoulders are. So from this line, and remember, sorry, I should have said this earlier, your knees are going to be about from the waist to the middle of, from this point to this point where my fingers are. That's where the middle of your knees, your knees are going to be in the middle of that. So we'll come up and about right there, if you want to put a little dot with your pencil. There are my knee dots right there, tiny little dots. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this curve from my waist down to about the dot that I drew for my knee. Okay, and I'm going to do it on the other side as well. You want your legs to kind of come out a little bit about as far as your shoulders. Now this is the female character, so she's a little curvier than what our male would be. So I'm going to come and measure a finger length from the edge of this line, and I'm going to put a dot, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now this is going to be where we draw the inside of our leg. I'm just going to draw that up. You can make these lines touch if you want. If you don't want them to touch, then you can just simply add a line right there, and the tops of your legs are done. There's our thighs. Let's go ahead and do our calves. So from the lines that we drew right here, we're going to draw 4 diagonals just down to make sure that these 2 don't touch on the inside. But that's where our calf leg kind of juts out a little bit, and then we're going to draw them down. So the rest of our calf is going to be a really long line, but it's going to also be diagonal, kind of coming into each other. Okay, so we have our leg lines coming in like that. They're a little blocky, but that's okay. All right, so now our shoes are really easy. We're just going to draw 2 lines underneath our legs, and then a half circle or a sad face that can connect our lines. And if you didn't draw it close enough, you can always draw your legs down and finish it that way. Okay? So there are the legs. Here's our torso. Let's do our arms. I'm going to use my finger again, starting at my shoulder point, and I'm going to measure down about a finger length. And I'm going to put a little line right there on both sides. That's where our armpit's going to be. Okay, so that's going to help us see where we need to draw the inside of our arm. Now I'm going to draw one arm first, and then I'll draw the other on the other side. Okay, so from our shoulder line right here, we're going to draw a curve. It kind of comes in, kind of like a half circle, basically. Okay, this is the top part of our arm, of our shoulder. Okay, now on the inside, we're going to go ahead and take care of that piece. We're going to draw a line from our the inside from our armpit down to right above our waistline, because that's where our elbow would be. So we're just going to draw a line to about right there. Okay? Now, for the outside of the arm, we're not going to start where we stop, because that would be really a funny looking arm. We're going to actually kind of start inside, not inside. We're going to start a little bit above where we stopped, and we're going to draw that curve line down. Just like that. And the lines are kind of curved into each other. Okay, our girl is very muscular. I mean, she's a superhero. She's a Fortnite character. So we want her to be able to handle herself. On the bottom of our arm, we're going to draw two little lines, just like we did for the legs. And then two more lines down to about the middle of her thigh. Okay, we're going to draw a line and close that off. Two lines down and close that off so that we make this box shape here. Now we're going to go ahead and do our hands. We're going to do a tiny little curve close to the body, a bigger curve on the outside, close it off so we have this little curved box here. We're going to put a square in the middle and then a square on the outside. Okay, that's just her glove. And if you don't like the way that hand is, then you can make your hand look however you would like. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to do my curve for the top muscle. I'm going to draw a curve down to right above our waist. I'm going to start again, not where I stopped, but a little bit before, and draw that curve down to that piece of the arm. Two little lines down. Two more lines down, coming in a little bit closer. Okay. I'm going to draw a line, close it off, draw my square, two lines down, close it off. A little curve on the inside, a little bit bigger curve on the outside, close that off, square in the middle, square on the back of the hand. Okay, so there's our basic body structure. Now, I'm going to do some details for the hair and the face, but if you want to start doing your own, you definitely can. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in slightly so that you can see the facial features that I'm going to draw. Again, this is just what I'm drawing. You don't have to draw any of these, okay? You can go ahead and start doing your own thing if that's what you would prefer. All right, in about the middle of the face, I'm going to draw a slight curve. That's going to be my nose, okay? Now, underneath that, I'm going to draw a line. This is going to be her mouth, okay? But she's a girl, so I'm going to give her shaped lips. So what I'm going to do is above my line, I'm going to draw a tiny little V, okay? From that tiny little V, I'm just going to draw lines to the edge of my mouth. And then I'm going to draw a curve on the bottom. So there's some easy shaped lips, okay? Now let's draw her eyes. I'm going to start by drawing a curve underneath, so it kind of looks like she's asleep. Okay, so there's the start of my eye. Now I'm going to draw a little line on the side, on the outermost edge of my eye, just like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from this point and I'm going to curve it up and touch the top. Okay, so her eyes are kind of slanted a little bit. She's got like fighter eyes, they kind of look anime. I'm going to curve it like that. Okay, I'm going to do that again. I'm just going to curve it like that. Okay, now on the inside, I'm just going to draw two curves to kind of bring her eyes to life. And one of my eyes is a little bit bigger than the other one, but that's okay. That's where you can erase. I cannot erase, so I'm just going to have to deal with this. For her eyebrows, I'm going to draw a line on one side of her eye and a dot on the other. Then I'm going to just match up one side of the line with the other. I'll do that same thing on the other side. There's a line, there's a dot, curve it, curve it. Okay? So there are her eyes and her eyebrows. For her ears, right next to her eye, I'm just going to draw like half a heart on both sides. Okay? Now, we're gonna draw her hair. I'm going to draw her hair kind of up, but her hair doesn't start just up here on the top of the head. She actually has hair right here on the sides of her head. So what I'm going to do is really close to the ear, and it's kind of hard because I made my face so narrow, but I'm going to draw a curve around like that for where her hair starts. And then I'm actually going to do the same thing again here. I'm going to give my girl wearing a headband because I think that works a little bit better. After I draw my headband, I'm going to draw a line off to the side. And then I'm going to draw a little curve there. And a little curve there. That's going to be some hair. I'm going to draw some lines for some hair right there. And then I'm going to draw her hair kind of in a ponytail. So what I'm going to do is from this point, you can come up and down. And I'll do that again. From this part, you can just draw a curve up and down. But I'm actually going to have her hair kind of off to the side here. So I'm just going to draw just a random zigzag line like that, so that there's her hair. Maybe she's got it pulled back into a ponytail behind her head. Okay, so there is our female Fortnite character. Again, you can make it look how you want it to look, add whatever details you want. If you don't like how I did the face, then do your own face. If you don't like how I did the hair, do your own hair. Okay, same with the hands, stuff like that. But this is just your basic template for your Fortnite character or superhero. So go ahead, and once you get this done, you can add whatever details you would like.